Well, hello, my little rays of sunshine. How are you all doing out there today? I'm Michelle the Introvert, and today you find me in my kitchen once again. I have an interesting kitchen project to share with you today, and it has to do with these two cans of whole baby clams. I've never cooked with whole baby clams before, but I have a recipe here that I copied off the internet. And this is for New England clam chowder. It looks pretty easy and the ingredients are not expensive and it's not complicated, so I thought it would be perfect for today. But before we start this new recipe, I would really like to welcome our new subscribers. We've had a lot of new subscribers lately, so I just want to thank you all, new subscribers, and we want to welcome you aboard. And it is so great that you decided to join us. Thank you so much. And I thought that maybe I could share a little bit with a lot of you who don't know this quite yet, a lot of you about who I am, and a little bit about my family as well. To start with, I'm Michelle, and I live in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, Canada. But I didn't grow up here. I wasn't born here. I was born in Ontario, Canada. And when I finished high school, I went to a Catholic high school in Ontario. When I finished high school, I moved down here with my dad and stepmother. I was only supposed to stay here for 6 months with dad and then move back to Ontario and live with mom once again. But in that 6-month period, I met Gerald. I met Gerald, and he is now my husband. We dated for a year and then he proposed, and so here we are. That many years later, it's been quite a few years. It'll be 34 years this coming September that we've been married. So we've known each other 35 years. Boy, time goes by fast when you're having fun. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about my husband, Gerald. Gerald, the tall, dark, and handsome one. Gerald has grown up here in Nova Scotia. He was born in Nova Scotia. He's lived in Yarmouth all of his life. And for a few years when Gerald was young, his dad was a lighthouse keeper. Albert Branscombe was a lighthouse keeper. So Gerald had the privilege of living on a lighthouse with his mom and his brother and sister, and they were homeschooled while they were living out there on the lighthouse on the island. So that's a that brings a lot of really neat memories for Gerald. And Gerald is very much into history, and I love history too, so we get along great. Gerald's also musical, and he used to go to youth with a mission. He did some missionary work in Dominican Republic when he was a little younger, before we met. And there's so many things that Gerald and I have in common. It's quite amazing that we met when we did. But it's been wonderful just being married to him. It's nice being married to your best friend. That doesn't happen very often to a lot of people, but the Lord has been very gracious to us, and I'm really happy to call Gerald my husband and my best friend. Gerald and I have 2 adult children. Our oldest is named Stacy. She's a wonderful daughter, and Stacy has her own apartment. She has a full-time job. She has a cat named Harley, and she has very, very good cooking skills. And many times our son Joshua will go and visit his big sister, and we don't ever have to worry about his meals because Stacy's such a great cook. We know that he's going to definitely be well fed. Stacy's a great cook. And we have a son named Joshua, and he is 30 years old. And when Joshua was 17, he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is on the autism spectrum. When Joshua was 18 years old, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And so Joshua still lives with us, and he needs full-time care, and that's what I do. I stay at home and I take care of Joshua. And Gerald has a full-time job, so during the day he's very busy with his job. So my friends, that's a little bit of a tidbit on us, but I'd also like to mention, because a lot of times, oftentimes, many people are curious when they hear the word schizophrenia. Some people feel nervous. because of things that they hear on the news, not in the positive light, that's for sure. A lot of negative and stigma is associated with the word schizophrenia. But one thing I will say about our son Joshua and about many people with schizophrenia, and that they have gentle, loving, kind hearts. Very loving, very sweet. And for those of you who know Joshua just by watching the videos, you can definitely see that he's a gentle, sweet soul. He's an angel. He's our treasure, that's for sure. And animals are drawn to Joshua. He'll go outside and animals will just come up to him. Animals that have never met him before will just come up to him. When we go to zoos, the animals will just come right over to him. Not just because they want snacks, but because they want him to pat them. It's very common, and even my daughter has noticed that animals are very drawn to Joshua. They just sense his very gentle, sweet spirit. So my friends, we welcome you and we invite you to join this channel, and we're glad you're here. And for all my regular viewers, hello my friends! I'm so happy that you're here too. You always make my day and you always make me smile. So my friends, if you have any more questions, or if you have any questions, just leave me some comments and I'd be happy to answer your questions. And I think I'll go on to the next thing for our video, and that is mail call. Mail call! I wonder who sent me this envelope. Alexandra. Alexandra lives in Ottawa, Ontario. Ottawa is a very beautiful place. So let's see what's inside this envelope. That was nice of you, Alexandra, to send this envelope. And we'll see what's inside. Oh, this is nice. Life is sweet. Look at this card. Look at the pictures on this card. Life is sweet. Yeah. Especially on Valentine's Day. Hope it brings lots of happiness your way. Thank you, Alexandra. That's terrific. That's nice. It's always nice to get a Valentine's Day card. Any time of the year, it's wonderful to receive a Valentine's Day card. Thank you so much. And I see here that Alexandra has a little note, so I'm just going to take a quick little peek at that. In this note here, Alex mentions about Joshua and I baking up some sweet treats. And actually, Joshua and I did do a Valentine's Day video where Joshua helped me make some sugar cookies. Joshua really likes to help bake in the kitchen, and he likes to barbecue, and he likes to cook things. So we had a lot of fun making the sugar cookies for Valentine's Day. And thank you so much, Alexandra, for this terrific card. This is beautiful. Thank you very much. Very kind of you to send this our way. I found this terrific recipe online for New England clam chowder. And what made me think of making this, and that is the fact that Joshua really likes New England clam chowder. There for a while I was buying the canned New England clam chowder, but as we all know, the prices of everything in the grocery stores have gone up and up and up, and they're still going up. And with the can of clam chowder that I was buying for Josh, even though the prices were going up, the size of the cans were getting smaller and smaller. So it wasn't really very practical for me to keep buying those cans because they were getting very expensive. I pick them up once in a blue moon now when they come down for a very reasonable price, but for the most part I don't buy them. So when I saw this recipe, I thought, aha, if I can make this for an exceptional price, this might just be the way to go. And I did some research, and this could also be put in the freezer if I have an excess of extra chowder. So this is definitely a win-win idea. Here's a nice close-up of the recipe for the New England clam chowder. You will need 1 cup of bacon, chopped, 1 cup of yellow onion, chopped, 1/4 a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of white potatoes, unpeeled and chopped, 2 cans of baby clams, drained, juice reserved, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, pinch of pepper, 2 cups of cream, half and half. Add various spices that you like. Now let's look at the instructions or directions. There are 5 steps and they look fairly easy. I think it'll be an easy and quick recipe to make. Doesn't look expensive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this tastes like once it's done. I have everything that I need for today's chowder. My bacon is all cut up or chopped up into this measuring cup. And I had some onions in the freezer. They had already been washed and cut up, so I just took out the amount that I needed. It's very easy and very handy to do it that way. I have my potatoes all ready to go, and for half and half, I'm going to use half of the cream and half of the milk for the chowder today. And I have salt and pepper, some flour, and when we get to the step where I need to work with the clams, I'll do all my measuring then. So now it's time to go to the stove. Step number 1. In a large pot, cook bacon and onion over medium heat, stirring occasionally until bacon is cooked and onion is tender. Step 2. Add flour and stir constantly for 1 minute. So here's the flour. And we'll put that in. The instructions are quite straightforward, I find. So that's good news for me. And then we'll stir this in for 1 minute. Now we're on step 3, and it says drain clams, reserving liquid. Add enough water to clam liquid to measure 2 cups. That sounds easy. Step 4. Stir clams and clam liquid. So those go in. And the second can goes in as well. Just a little bit left in there. Okay. So we have the clams in there, and we have to put the clam liquid in there. So here comes the clam liquid. I'll put it all in there. The potatoes are next. One-fourth a teaspoon of salt going in. A little bit of pepper going in. And now it's time to stir. Get it all stirred in. This is still step number 4. It says to heat to boiling and then reduce heat. Cover and simmer for about 20 minutes or until the potatoes are tender. That sounds very reasonable. And step 5, that's our next step. That's also our last step. So we'll let this boil and do what it needs to do. and the potatoes in the pot here, they're all tender and cooked through. So now I'm going to read step 5, which is the very last step. It says stir in cream, heat, stirring occasionally just until hot. So I'll show you what I have here. I have some milk. This is 1 cup of milk because I wanted to make this half and half. So there's 1 cup of milk here. And I also have 1 cup of cream. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pot with everything else. I'll take this cover off so you can see what it looks like in there. Looks pretty good. The flour has thickened everything up really nice. Everything is cooked through. It looks great. I'm looking forward to taste testing this. Okay, so I'm going to put the milk in first. And I'll give that a little stir. Then I'll add the cream. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, I'll get the cream. Oops. Get that all stirred in. Just going to read my recipe card again for number 5. Right here. Stir in cream, heat, stirring occasionally, just until hot. All right. That's the last of the instructions for this recipe. That wasn't too complicated. Just the way I like it, when a recipe is nice and easy and straightforward to understand. Look at the spoonful of goodies. You can see the ham really nice in there too. And the potatoes. Nice sized chunks of potatoes and the clams. I can see the clams. That's a lot of soup. It's actually more than what I was expecting, but that I don't mean that in a bad way. This will be nice for Joshua's lunch tomorrow. It's the afternoon right now, so we're past lunchtime, but this will be nice for Joshua's lunch tomorrow. It looks delicious. The chowder is all done, and here it is. It's quite hot though. I'm going to have to put this down. So I'm going to taste test this. And I have my napkin handy. And I'll let you know what I think. It actually turned out better than I thought it would. This is really good. This is really, really good. I can't believe I made this. I'm kind of happy because it's like first time I've ever made a clam chowder. I'm going to taste it again. Ooh, it's hot too. On my hands, it's hot. Well, that was really good. I'm surprised how nice that tastes. I knew it tasted good, but I'm just surprised how good it tastes, how well it turned out. Oh my, oh my. I'm starting to not feel like such a beginner when it comes to cooking. I get surprised at myself sometimes when I'm able to do certain things I've never done before. But this is really nice. Definitely going to make this again. And I think that Joshua will be very, very pleased with this. It's quite hot on the bottom there. So I'll put this down, my friends. But this will definitely make a really nice chowder, nice clam chowder lunch for Joshua tomorrow. I think he'll be impressed. Well, my friends, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to spend the afternoon with you, and I'm so happy about how the clam chowder turned out. I'm just thrilled. Thank you again for keeping me company, and if you like this vlog, please give me the YouTube thumbs up or press that subscribe button. That would be great. And I have more vlogs coming up, so stay tuned, and I'll talk to you all soon. Talk to you soon, my friends. Bye. Bye.